Hey guys, what's going on? So we have to talk about it. We have to talk about episode 10-15 of One Piece, which has to be the most beautifully animated episode that we've seen so far. This episode actually made me tear up. I did tear up a little bit watching this episode just because of how impactful it was and how much this actually means for the One Piece series. This was an adaptation of chapter 1000 and it was strictly amazing. The animators and everyone who worked on this episode blessed it by putting their hands on it. So pretty much everyone at this point has already seen the episode. It did come close to breaking the internet. It was extremely popular. It was trending on Twitter. It was crashing streaming sites. This episode of One Piece right here for me is like one of those episodes that you'll show people clips of, or you'll show people in the future and they'll be like, dang, I want to start watching One Piece now. One of my favorite parts of the episode is when Yamato had this revelation that Luffy and Roger have the same dream. I just think the art style for that and the way they totally changed it up, because I don't think we've ever seen that art style in One Piece before. They totally changed it up and we had Whitebeard, we had Odin, we had Roger, we had Sabo, Ace, and Luffy there, and that was just the most amazing thing. And I gotta say, at this point in the series, with the amount of backstory and character development that Oda is giving to Yamato, if Yamato doesn't become a Straw Hat, there's 100% something wrong. Like, I would love to see Yamato cemented as a Straw Hat just because of how strong Yamato is, and just Yamato's story is overall perfect, and I think that ties in perfectly to being a Straw Hat member. So if Yamato isn't a Straw Hat after Wano, I'm 100% gonna be ticked off, because it will be so much wasted with a good character. And I always say that there's two characters in One Piece that I think if nothing happens with them, it will be such a waste, and that's Shanks and Yamato. So if Yamato doesn't join the crew at this point, I'm gonna have some hard feelings about that. We had so much amazing stuff in this episode. It's really a lot to unpack. So there was one scene when Ace's Vivre card started running out, the one that Yamato gave him. So now we know that that Vivre card came from Yamato. So the Vivre card that Luffy got in Alabasta was actually made by Yamato. And we're gonna go into a little bit more of why I think Yamato is literally cemented into this crew and why Yamato is joined. So we had the beautiful scene as when Yamato saw Ace's Vivre card going away, and Yamato started talking about freedom and how she wishes that she could, or how he wishes that he could get off the island and be free. And then we have the moment where they're using like the mini Kanabo to try to break out. Just overall beautiful. The sound and everything, sound design, animation, everything was just straight beautiful. But it also brings up the question and makes me think, what if Yamato did go to Marineford? How much would that change? And we also saw Kaido talking about how he got stopped from going to Marineford by Shanks, so now he has time to deal with Yamato. So it makes me wonder, what did Shanks say to Kaido? And it's been making me wonder ever since we got the whole thing with Luffy and his, spoilers ahead, okay, when we got the thing about Luffy and his fifth gear. Because at this point, we all know that Kaido, he has some ulterior motives. He's not evil per se, I just think he's going about it the wrong way. Kaido has this other goal that he has in mind, and I can't wait to see Kaido's backstory so we could actually figure out what type of pirate is Kaido actually and how much does he know. So it's making me wonder, what did Shanks say to Kaido? But I know I'm going on a tangent. So we see Kaido saying that he has time for Yamato and he goes to stop Yamato, and Yamato sits there and says to Kaido, or I don't know, I forget if it was in her or she actually said it out loud, but she's waiting for Luffy, or she'll wait for Luffy to come. So Yamato already knew about Luffy, and we kind of already knew that because she talked about how she met Ace, and obviously Ace is going to talk about his brother, but she has been waiting all this time, years. I don't know exactly how many years it has been, but it really can't be many, because Ace said Luffy's gonna set out in a couple years, so maybe like 4, 5, 6 years Yamato has been waiting for Luffy to show up, and Luffy's finally here. So Yamato has been waiting for such a long time for Luffy to get to Wano. There's no way that Yamato doesn't join this crew. There's actually no way. They have the same common goal. Luffy's whole ideals is about having freedom. Yamato wants freedom. That's why I think that Yamato is going to be the Odin to Luffy that he was to Roger. That makes sense. So you know how we had Odin and Roger, we're going to have Luffy and Yamato. And Luffy is going to be the one to set Yamato free from the island. We've already seen Luffy, you know, get rid of the shackles for her. And finally, the last part of that is going to be Luffy taking Yamato out to sea so that Yamato can experience the freedom of the sea, because that's Yamato's main goal right there. So I know I talk a lot about Yamato. I might just do a whole video on why I think Yamato should join the crew, but it's setting up that Yamato is going to join this crew, and I will be disappointed if it doesn't go that way. Like, I would hate to see like Yamato. No, there's no way. I digress, because there's no way that Yamato's whole purpose is freedom, and then Yamato doesn't go with Luffy. It doesn't make sense. Like, I've seen some people say like, oh, Momonosuke is going to go with Luffy. I believe that Momonosuke has to stay on Wano. It's either Momonosuke or Hiyori. We could have a thing where Yamato and Momonosuke travel to the last island with Luffy, but I'd prefer to see Yamato travel with the Straw Hats over Momonosuke. But it would kind of be like Momonosuke would be doing the same expedition of his father, plus Momonosuke has a voice of all things to help Luffy and the crew later on when they get to Lafto and all that stuff and blah, 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 blah. But we don't want to see that. Well, me personally, I don't want to see that. Now, on to the final part of this episode that's being clipped that everyone's talking about, Luffy's walk. I think One Piece, hands down, out of all anime, has the best walk instance. The walk to Arlong Park, the walk to Frankie's house, the walk in Strong World. It's just One Piece does these scenes perfectly, where it's like they make the walking so prominent and so like face forward that what Kaido and Big Mom were saying was just straight background noise. No one was really listening to him. We were just listening to Luffy take those steps, and just to see the shots of Zoro and how nasty Zoro was looking. And Zoro was on guard, ready to go for that fight immediately. As soon as he saw Luffy on guard, Zoro was like, okay, it's go time. That's why I can't wait to see some of the moments we have from Zoro and Luffy coming up in this fight, because I know the animation is about to be spectacular. One Piece is getting to a point where it's not goofy and silly animation. We got some serious animation, some serious shots, and it's only gonna get better. Only gonna get better from here. So the part that I actually started tearing up on is when we got to see Kinemon laying there, and they were just going through the flashbacks of Luffy coming to save Wano and all that, and I actually started to tear up, because that scene, it was emotional, but it wasn't tears of like sadness. It was tears of like, oh, this is it. It's tears of happiness, because we're finally getting to see this, because we're finally getting to see Luffy in a serious mode. And it was sad because the Scabbards, they're fighting for their lives. They're putting everything they have on the line to try to beat Kaido, and it's like you actually feel the emotion of that. You feel the stress coming off of Luffy, and it was just beautiful. Like, I was getting goosebumps while watching all of it. And then we get to see Luffy's new move, Red Rock, which was honestly amazing, just beautifully animated, the veins and everything, like the whole scene's changing and stuff. This episode was, I was watching this episode and I lost words for that. I was like, okay, this is something I have to make a video on, because this is beautiful, and this is going to be an episode that's going to be talked about for years. Oh, and also I forgot to mention just the scene of seeing Kaido and Big Mom, these two huge opposing figures standing on each side, and then Luffy just walks through them, and they're saying, oh, tell us what you were going to become again, Straw Hat. Oh, you were talking all that trash. Oh, where is it? Say it to us again. Say it to us right now in front of our faces. And then he hits Kaido and then just announces it that he's going to be king of the pirates. It's just beautiful. They did this beautifully. This episode right here should have been like one of those hour-long specials. This and the last episode should have been tied in together. But that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. This episode was amazing. It was beautiful. If you guys want to see the chapter review, stick around, because we're on a 2-week break for the chapter, so I'm going to be doing a chapter review probably later on this week. I know it's a little late, but I'm still going to try to get it out. But with all that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you stayed this long, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. With all that being said, I want you guys to have a good day or night wherever in the world, and peace